G'day guys, it's John from That's My Say Again, and just got another That's My Say in the Wild here. Today we're going on a walk called the Boxvale Trail, which is in Welby near Mittagong in the Southern Highlands where I live. And it's a trail that used to be a tramway. Some people call it the Boxvale Tramway. It was a tramway that carried coal from a coal mine here, Boxvale Coal Mine I believe it was called, and carried it out to what was the old Hume Highway, so it could be loaded onto other transport and taken to where it was needed. Some of it was used locally in a local iron foundry that was nearby, and the rest of it was used in other places. So we'll go and have a look at this walk. It takes about 2 to 3 hours return, depending on how fast you walk. It's not a hard walk, it's fairly flat, there's not a lot of hills in it, it's not too rough, but it is quite a spectacular walk, and it's got an absolutely spectacular view at the end. So we'll go and do this walk, and we'll see the spectacular view at the end. It's definitely worth the effort of going. Okay, let's go. Alright, one of the good things about this walk is it's Crown land, so there's no restrictions on taking dogs with you. So we've got our loyal pooch Lulu, and she loves coming on this walk with us. Should keep that a secret though. If National Parks and Wildlife get their hands on this place, National Parks and Wildlife get their hands on it, then I'm sure they won't let dogs in here at all. Absolutely certain of that. So hopefully they never get their hands on this spot. But we'll go on the walk and we'll show you some of the sights along the way. Here's one of the bridge crossings at the beginning of the track. This is before you actually get onto the tramway as such, the Boxvale Tramway. Takes a little while to get onto the actual tramway, but this is part of it leading up to where the actual tramway starts. And, some nice creek flow across here, and it's about as high as I've ever seen this creek been. We've had a bit of rain this winter, so it all looks very good. This is an old dam here, which I'm not exactly sure what the purpose of this dam was when it's built, but now it's not really used for anything. It's just a remnant of a bygone era, but I think it may have had something to do with the iron finery that was here. The water that they used to use may even have supplied water locally at one stage, but it's not really used for anything anymore. It's just still here because it's probably easier to leave it here than to knock it down. Okay, but it's a nice spot. I believe there's some pretty good fishing in here with bass and that sort of stuff as well, so maybe I'll have to give it a go one day. Alright, so this is the start of the actual tramway that you walk along here. You can see it's only fairly narrow. It wasn't a real big train at all. It just carried coal carts out to the highway so they could be loaded onto other transport. But like I said, it's a good walk. Being a tramway, that's why it's nice and flat. And it's a nice easy walk. And fairly shaded too, so even on a hot day you can have quite a pleasant walk along here. Coming up to the Casuarina cutting here. There's a few deep cuttings on the way through this trail. Obviously, trail steam trams didn't go up hills real easily, so when there was a bit of a hill that they had to normally go over, they had to cut a cutting through them and go through. We've had some winds from time to time here, and when the branches get cleared they just get left in the cutting. But I guess that's the way it is. It creates a bit of a habitat here. And you can see how many trees have grown in here, in the cutting here, since the railway finished. Alright, just another thing I'll show you too, with it being a tram track, you can see I'm just beside the track now, and you can see the ground level there. That's the ground level there of the track, and you can see how it's built up along the side. Obviously, as well as not being able to go over hills, they don't really want it dropping down into little gullies and stuff as well. So things are kept nice and flat there. The hills are cut out where they need to be cut out, and the ground is built up where it needs to be built up. So basically that's what keeps it such a good walk. It's been made nice and flat for the tram, and that makes it a nice flat easy walk for people as well. Alright, we'll keep going. We've come to some stairs here, and this would have been a place where there would have been a fairly large bridge. You can sort of see if I focus in. That's the trail on the other side, so it goes all the way down into the valley and comes up the stairs. That's where we have to walk, but in the days of the tramway there would have been a timber bridge built across here, and that's been long ago gone. It was probably taken apart for the wood to be reused or burnt down in a bushfire, but it hasn't been here for a long time. We'll continue on our little walk.
The lights are out, the shades are down.
Okay, here we've got a nice round hole in the rock that's on the creek that bridge would have gone over, and it would have been one of the supports for the timber bridge. There's no timber in there anymore, but Lily, don't drink that water, yuck. But there's no timber in there anymore. It would be all rotted away because it's always filled with water, but that would have been one of the post supports for the bridge that would have been here when the tramway was here. Okay, so we'll keep going on.
The shades are down. He's got his scepter and his crown. He's waking up all alone. He's sinking in the cushions of his throne.
Easiest way to follow this track, you've got the little red Department of Land signs. Just follow them along. So this is where we go across one part of the road. This is probably a little trick. Looks like the main track heads up that way. But the tramway, where the picnic table is, this is about halfway. You've got another marker post, and you take the little inconspicuous track off to the right. So it's a little trick to keep you going on the right track.
Well, that's my say. What do you reckon?